I bought lower grade steaks when my in-laws visit and served my mom and dad Wagyu. My wife's parents are sweet people, but they have the taste buds of a brick wall. Last time they visited, I spent $80 on beautiful ribeye eyes, cooked them medium rare, and watched my father-in-law take his steak back to the grill and turn it into shoe leather. I literally watched him destroy a perfect piece of meat while asking if I had any ketchup. My parents are the complete opposite. They plan their entire vacations around restaurants. My dad will drive 3 hours for good barbecue, and my mom once spent a whole month making black garlic in a rice cooker just because she read about it online. When they visit, it's like having food critics in my house. So yeah, when my in-laws come over, I buy the cheap, select grade stuff from the grocery store. They're going to burn it anyway, so why waste money? But when my parents visit, I splurge on the good stuff. Real Wagyu, the kind that costs more than my car payment. My wife found out about this arrangement last month when she saw the receipt for the steaks I bought for my parents' visit. She completely lost it. Started yelling about how I was playing favorites and treating her family like garbage. I tried explaining that her dad literally asks for A1 sauce with every meal, but she wasn't having it. The whole thing came to a head 2 weeks ago, when both sets of parents were visiting at the same time. I thought I was being smart by cooking all the steaks together, but I made a crucial mistake. I accidentally switched the plates. My father-in-law got the Wagyu, and my dad got the cheap stuff. Within minutes, my dad was giving me this confused look like I'd lost my mind. He kept taking tiny bites and making weird faces. Meanwhile, my father-in-law was drowning his $100 steak and steak sauce and telling everyone how much he loved it. My mom pulled me aside in the kitchen and asked if everything was okay financially. She thought I was going broke because the steak tasted like cardboard. I had to come clean about the whole thing right there. That's when my wife overheard everything. She started crying in front of both families, saying I was embarrassing her and making her parents feel like second-class citizens. Her mom asked what was wrong, and my wife just blurted out the whole story. The awkward silence that followed was brutal. My father-in-law put down his fork and asked if the steak he was eating was the expensive kind. When I nodded, he laughed and said he couldn't tell the difference anyway. My mother-in-law just shrugged and said she thought all steak tasted the same. But my dad, he was pissed, not at me, but at the situation. He said he felt terrible that I was spending so much money trying to impress them when all he cared about was spending time with us. My mom agreed and said they'd rather eat hot dogs if it meant I wasn't stressing about money. The dinner basically fell apart after that. My in-laws left early, saying they felt uncomfortable. My parents stayed to help clean up, but the whole mood was ruined. My dad kept apologizing for making me feel like I had to buy expensive food. Later that night, my wife and I had the biggest fight of our marriage. She said I was being classist and elitist, treating her family like they weren't good enough for quality food. I argued that it wasn't about being good enough. It was about not wasting money on something they couldn't appreciate. She brought up how her family grew up with less money than mine, and how I was basically throwing that in their faces. That hit different because she was right about their background. Her parents worked their asses off to give her opportunities, and here I was acting like their simple tastes made them somehow lesser. But then I reminded her about the time her dad sent back a perfectly good salmon at a restaurant because it wasn't cooked enough when it was supposed to be seared. Or when her mom asked if the asparagus at that fancy place we went to was supposed to be crunchy because she was used to boiling vegetables until they were mush. The argument went on for hours. She accused me of being a food snob, and